Ladies and gentlemen, everyone's favorite left-wing propagandist Rachel Maddow has just been caught in a massive lie. And really, I have to say the lie is just so incompetent that it makes you wonder, do the folks over at MSNBC do any research at all before going live on national TV? But so today, what I want to do is break down this entire situation with Rachel Maddow, but also do a little check-in with various other members of the left-wing media to see how they're coping with Trump's first 3 weeks in office. So folks, I have a feeling that today we have a pretty funny video ahead of us. But okay, what do you say we get right into things and go ahead and take a look at the massive lie that Rachel Maddow told just earlier today.
Elon Musk has apparently somehow convinced the United States government, specifically the United States Department of State, that the taxpayers of the United States of America should spend $400 million buying, quote, armored Tesla production units. Isn't it great and definitely not at all illegal or profoundly corrupt? Definitely not ripping us all off to pay themselves, right?
Donald Trump didn't give that contract to Elon Musk. Joe Biden gave it to him.
You hear that? So actually, this highly corrupt $400 million Cybertruck contract was actually given to Tesla by none other than Joe Biden. In fact, it was actually in 2021 that Joe Biden signed an executive order encouraging government agencies to buy electric vehicles, which prompted the State Department to award the contract to Tesla in the first place. But now here's the funny part. President Trump has actually instructed the State Department to not even pursue the contract at all because, as many of you may know, Trump isn't exactly the biggest fan of electric vehicles. So what that means is that this entire situation is actually the exact opposite of corruption. He's literally snatching a $400 million contract away from Elon Musk. So hey, given that that's all the case, do you guys think that Rachel Maddow will go live and issue a little correction? Yeah, I wouldn't count on it. But okay, what do you guys say we move on and take a look at some other members of the highly esteemed progressive media? In fact, take a look at this clip from just yesterday featuring CNN's Caitlin Collins.
Mr. President, you won the White House in part because of high inflation. If your tariffs make prices go up...
Excuse me, we haven't asked you to speak yet, please. Right?
Guys, what is wrong with her? There President Trump is sitting in the Oval Office signing an executive order, showing it off to the press, and then she just butts in as if she's the main character of the show to start spewing her gotcha questions. Honestly, between you and me, guys, if it were up to me, Caitlin Collins here would lose her press badge over this. Because in my opinion, if you can't maintain a little bit of respect and basic decorum in the Oval Office of all places, you probably shouldn't be there. So yeah, I think her spot should go to somebody else, maybe somebody who's a little bit better behaved. But okay guys, while we're talking about some of our favorite people at CNN, I think you guys need to take a look at this clip from just the other day featuring none other than Anderson Cooper. But real quick, before we get to that, I want to say real fast, if you guys enjoy the daily news updates, please consider subscribing to the channel because it really does help a ton with my daily struggle against the YouTube algorithm. But okay guys, take a look at this. What you're about to see is CNN's Anderson Cooper really losing his cool and pretty much having a meltdown on live TV.
It was surreal, but I got to tell you, I know what you're not showing here. Musk gave 7 specific examples off the top of his head of where the corruption and fraud were. I know you didn't play the clips. He was talking about a contractor that had a 3-month contract. He was paid for 20 years. He was talking about welfare benefits that were being paid to someone that was technically 150 years old. He was talking about line items in the Treasury that had no justification.
There's no he doesn't present any actual evidence.
Well, he's standing there in the Oval Office. Do you expect him to come in with 10,000 pages? And I have to be clear, to complain about this administration about transparency, when this president takes open questions on a daily basis, yet Joe Biden didn't show up for a press conference this 6 months, is insane. Well, these guys are being extremely transparent. They don't have to sit there and take the questions, but they do. It's all on the website. It's all out there.
It's not transparency to say things that have no factual background. I mean, to say we're cutting, we've found $1 billion or $1 trillion in waste with no specifics, that's just talk. That's not transparency.
It's 23 days in here, guys. 23 days. You were talking about 2.3 billion that was saved last year. These guys are saving 2.3 billion a day.
Right, but
it's incredible.
That's what they're saying. But where's the proof?
You're waiting. You're not going to be satisfied till he shows up with 10,000 pages.
But in about 10,000 pages, he's giving very specific things, yes, but he's not actually giving any evidence of that.
It's all going to come because what they also said was, if we have to go to Congress, we'll go to Congress.
Right, but
we'll show where it is.
Some of the details that have come out, like the $59 million spent on luxury hotels. It's actually not.
Talking about the FEMA money that was abused for migrants. That was.
Yeah.
FEMA money for migrants, that's okay now?
No, I'm not saying it's okay. I'm not saying it's okay. Don't put words in my mouth.
So would you stop that? Would you stop that process?
Don't be a dick. The portrayal, what I'm saying is the portrayal.
You see that? When Anderson Cooper got just the slightest amount of pushback, he snapped. He couldn't handle it. These partisan talking heads on the left are just so unfamiliar with anyone from outside of their own echo chamber that when they do finally encounter someone from the right side of the aisle, someone with a brain inside of their skull, they just don't know what to do. And hey, you know what? Here's the crazy thing. Elon Musk and the Department of Government Efficiency have actually been posting proof of all of the waste and fraud that they've been finding. They even recently set up a website, doge.gov, where you can take a look at all of it for yourself. So this whole narrative that there's just no proof for any of this fraud going on inside of our federal government is just completely bogus. In fact, you know what? I got a little bit curious and did some research into all of this, and I've got something that I want you guys to take a look at. For over 2 decades, the Government Accountability Office has actually been releasing yearly fraud reports, and pretty much every single year they report hundreds of billions of dollars worth of fraud and waste going on within our federal government. So once again, this entire notion that there's just no fraud or waste whatsoever inside of our federal government is just completely bogus. This is all just a complete and total lie that the Democrats are trying to spread right now because guess what? They're the ones that have been profiting from all of this. So folks, what all of this means is that right now the Democrats are just completely hopeless right now. They have no leader, they have no plan, and frankly, they don't even live in reality. In fact, take a look at this.
Unfortunately, Democrats are only focused on one thing right now, Mr. Musk. The fact of the matter, he's quite popular. He has the largest platform in human history, which is, of course, Twitter/X. And I think we're missing the boat as Democrats. And all I'm saying is that sometimes it's better to join them and actually play a role in how the strategy works rather than so pathetically, frankly, try to combat something that clearly is a steamroller, and Democrats are being steamrolled.
And you know what? He raises a great point. Right now, even if you hate President Trump or you hate Elon Musk, you can still realize that we have an amazing opportunity to finally get our country's budget back under control. You would think that for the Democrats, this endeavor would be important enough to set aside partisan differences, but no, guess what? They're doing the exact opposite. They're actually working to maintain and perpetuate all of the fraud. So guys, to be honest, between you and me, at this point, I can't even fathom how normal, everyday Democrat voters can defend this sort of behavior. But you know what? Maybe they're actually not. Because keep in mind, President Trump's approval ratings are at an all-time high right now. So hey, you know what? Maybe some Democrats have actually woken up, so to speak, after the election, and maybe they've come over to our side. But you know what, guys? I think that's all I've got for you today with this video. So please go down below and drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Please like the video if you liked it. Like I said earlier, please consider subscribing. It really does help a ton. Thank you all very much for watching. And of course, as always, stay safe.